Shout out to each and every one of you guys for investigating how I can get you guys to donate online. So tune in for that. I'm still looking to see how I can do that. So Canelo can still be undisputed this year, unofficially. And what I mean by that is he got stripped of a title, so obviously he won't be undisputed. But by him facing Demetrius Andrade, it means he would have faced all the ABC belt holders, both the WC and WBA jointly. He would have faced the WBA holder, which was Gennady Golovkin. He'd have faced the IBF belt holder, which would have been Danny Jacobs. And he would have faced Demetrius Andrade, the WBO belt holder. So unofficially, he would have been undisputed world champion because he faced all of the undisputed world champions. Make sense? Especially if Gennady Golovkin wins the IBF belt. He's still undisputed. You got it? Because he beat all the guys who were at the top. So it'll just have to be made official, which means you would just have to face Gennady Golovkin again. People are talking about Canelo doesn't need a belt to make money. But Canelo has said, I'm only going by Canelo's words, by the way. Canelo has said that he wants to be a great fighter. He said that. I didn't say it. He also said that he wanted to be undisputed at the end of this year. So in a way, he can still be undisputed at the end of this year, or at least face all the world champions, which means there's no dispute as to who's the best in the middleweight division, literally, because he'd have faced all the best in the middleweight division. He'd have been the man of the division. He may not end up with all the belts. That's the thing about boxing. There's something called a belt collector, and then there's something called someone who wants to face the very best. When Floyd Mayweather said belts don't make me, that's what he meant. He didn't mean, okay, I'm going to avoid this belt, but I'm going to face some truck driver. Okay, that's not what it means. Okay, Gennady Golovkin, his attitude was a belt collector. That's why he wanted Canelo to surrender the belt, and he just took up the belt. Again, Gennady Golovkin's operating as a belt collector again, because he's not going to be facing Canelo for the IBF title. Canelo being stripped would have to have vacated it. He's going to face somebody else for the title. So he's going to get a belt when he legitimately didn't face the guy that had the belt. He did this twice in his career. I want to show you something. I want to show you guys something, because a lot of you guys out there try to get false equivalencies between Canelo and Triple G. You know, they were talking about how Canelo, he's like Triple G ducking Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. And so I'm happy that Canelo's facing Demetrius Andrade to show that I hope Canelo faces Demetrius Andrade, because show that Canelo throughout his career has never ducked or dodged anyone, including Triple G. He never ducked or dodged anyone. Okay? He's never ducked or dodged anyone. That's why I'm going to be glad if Canelo faces Demetrius Andrade after all this whole debacle. Because in the end of the day, I hope he does. At the end of the day, Canelo is fighting the best possible competition. And depending on how you guys rank middleweights, Canelo would have faced 3 of the top best middleweights in the division. He'd have faced Miguel Cotto, he'd have faced Triple G, and he'd have faced Danny Jacobs. That's 3. Now you're going to make it 4. He's going to face Demetrius Andrade, right? Derevyanchenko's not in the top. He's not in the top 5. The top 5 are Canelo, Triple G, Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade, and Jamal Charlo. That's the top 5. Okay? If Canelo faces 4 out of that top 5, that's good enough. So my point being that, a lot of people are talking about how, Canelo ducked Triple G. He didn't duck Triple G. He faced Triple G. So you can't say he ducked him. And the way how he fought him in the first fight showed that he could handle him. And in the second fight, he walked him down. So he never ducked Triple G. Okay? So y'all can't make that claim he ducked Triple G. Because he faced him. And based on his actions here, if he faces, just the negotiations took a little while to happen, but the next guy he faced was Demetrius Andrade, which would be good. Danny Andrade, I'm going to give him a pass on Jamal Charlo. Hopefully he'll face Jamal Charlo at 168 or at 175. He will face Jamal Charlo. But I can give him a pass on Jamal Charlo, because Jamal Charlo just got a title. And not even a full-fledged title. All the other guys Canelo has faced have had full-fledged titles. That's why when you guys say Canelo versus Jamal Charlo, it's not that I don't mind that fight. It's cool, but it's just like, I mean, Canelo can going off the undisputed, so you already got the WBC belt, and you are the real WBC champion. Jamal Charlo didn't fight nobody to get to the WBC championship. He just was promoted. He was just promoted because Canelo was promoted. He was promoted. All right, so he ain't fought nobody to be WBC champion. Far less fight the level of competition Canelo did. Now, the difference is that Demetrius Andrade did fight someone for a vacant title that Billy Joe Saunders left, but nonetheless, he fought somebody to become the WBO champion. It's really Billy Joe Saunders' belt. He has. Okay? Like Amigo Cotto had Ricky Hatton's belt. Right? Now, Triple G is going to have Canelo's belt. He didn't face Canelo to get that title. Now, the thing about it was, though, that Demetrius Andrade was going to face Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders was stripped because Billy Joe Saunders was found dirty. Even though Billy Joe Saunders wasn't really dirty, Billy Joe Saunders was using some kind of inhaling medicine, an inhaler, and that's how the steroid got into his system, because he was using to clear his passage. So really, it's a technical thing that Billy Joe Saunders was caught up on, because Billy Joe Saunders is basically a clean guy. But apparently, it seems as though he was using that inhaler stuff. I don't know if he's asthmatic or whatever. And, well, womp, womp, womp. He didn't have a TUE. Too bad. So, but that's how life is, you know? That's how life is. You got to go check. Those things have steroids in them. You should have checked. You got a TUE for that. So that's why I think the European board and the UCAT didn't penalize him for that, because they kind of sift through it. It's kind of sad because he probably should have presented the information. He probably did present it to VADA, and they still didn't buy into it. It's what it is. If it was USADA, I think it would have been handled differently. So anyway, the point is that Canelo facing Demetrius Andrade is the best possible thing that could happen. I don't believe that, the excuses that fans are making, a belt don't make a belt don't make Canelo. Of course, belts don't make any fighter. Belts don't make any fighter. It's the opponents that they face that make them, right? And their inherent style and tendencies and skills. But the point is, Canelo said he wanted to be undisputed champion by the end of the year. He said that. We didn't say that. So it would have been good if he could have held on to the IBF belt. But as it is, he didn't hold on to it. Gennady Golovkin's going to get it, which means that's up for undisputed. Even though Canelo's already going to be undisputed if he beats Demetrius Andrade at the end of this year, it will basically it'll officialize it. Because Triple G would have Canelo's belt, and Canelo just had to come back and take his belt. Okay? So, again, I'm not saying that belts make a fighter. Not at that level. Canelo can make money without a belt. But obviously, the level of opposition is important. That's why the fight against Demetrius Andrade serves as one in which he should do. And hopefully, not only should do, but he should cup the WBO belt on top of that. It's not the most prestigious belt. Now, I hear people talking about how the IBF, Oscar De La Hoya was saying how the IBF, they didn't give them a chance and stuff. There's a process. And it so happened that the time was passing where they should have done their unification. They could have kept that belt and be unifying right now with Demetrius Andrade. But they, the ones that went and decided to go for Sergey Kovalev, was really retarded. Then they tried to get... Then it was talking about Jaime McGill, which was whack. And then they talking about Derevyanchenko all of a sudden. And now they get to Demetrius Andrade. When you could have handled Demetrius Andrade from off the bat, you wouldn't have lost your IBF belt because the time would not have elapsed. And you'd have been able to get negotiations going for undisputed. But you're so stupid. You decided you still got to end up facing Demetrius Andrade this year. You're still going back to the same guy. You just lose the IBF belt, which does work in a way to set up for the undisputed championship against Triple G and Canelo, providing Triple G can get past Derevyanchenko, Canelo can get past Demetrius Andrade. But I just wanted to highlight that. I was looking at that information. I thought, hey, let me highlight that stuff. Let me talk about that stuff a little bit more. But no, it's not that Canelo don't need a belt. It's that Canelo said certain things, and he probably want to accomplish his goal before the end of the year, and he possibly could do so this coming November, October. So Hopefully they get the negotiation with Demetrius Andrade done. He's talking about Derevchenko pricing himself out. Oscar De La Hoya talking about that. But honestly, whether it's step aside money or it was that they were trying to negotiate something for the defense with Derevchenko, whatever it was, it's a good thing Canelo didn't shell out all that money for Derevchenko because now he's got the opportunity to face Demetrius Andrade, which gives him again more clout, win his championship title, beat him, and then turn around and rematch Gennady Golovkin and comprehensively beat his ass. So that's good. Like I said, Gennady Golovkin, was offered to face Demetrius Andrade, turned that down for Steve Rawls. He was, Erislandy Lara proposed a fight with him. He turned that down immediately. And he faced Willie Monroe, a Cuban fighter, southpaw, just like Erislandy Lara, who's coming up from 154. See what I'm talking about? Much worse fighter than Erislandy Lara. Then you have him turning down a fight with Andre Ward, who was he said he could face Andrew Ward, and Andrew Ward took up the offer, and he turned it down. Right? So I mean, Kyle Froch was game to face him as well, and nothing came of that. So GGG, as far as I'm concerned, it's not on Canelo's level. Clearly. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. Don't forget you can like, subscribe, and very soon I'll have you donating online. But if you need to donate to my channel, you can always donate via Western Union MoneyGram. I'll give you the specifics. All you got to say is that you would like to donate. Have a good one, guys. I gotta take a nap.